Support for the show comes from Mercury, the fintech that brings all the ways you use money into a single, streamlined product. Because starting a business is hard enough, and the stakes are too high to settle for anything less than extraordinary. Here at Serve, Mercury's been a game changer when it comes to organizing our invoices, tracking our billing, and most importantly, being sure we can take care of the people that make this show possible with on-time payroll. Visit Mercury.com to join over 200,000 entrepreneurs who use Mercury to do more for their businesses. Mercury, banking that does more. Mercury is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided through Choice Financial Group, column NA, and Evolve Bank and Trust, members FDIC. Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Serve, brought to you by Mercury. Mike looks like a guy that spent all day at center court.
Yep.
I look like a guy that's going to be at center court tomorrow, and Sean looks like he's in his basement. But hey, you know, we all have our thing. The upsets keep coming. Obviously, Laura Siegemund, ranked 104 in the world coming in, beats Maddie Keys in straight sets. It's almost like you expect it now. But it also, I kind of have a theory, guys, and this has kind of set me down a different path. On a lot of surfaces, right? Because it's like the mono surface where it's all just kind of slow, right? Clay, hard, it's all kind of the same now. And a slice isn't effective on a lot of the mono surfaces, right? Like you just don't see it as often as you used to for a lot of reasons. The faster the court, the more effective a slice is generally. And then we get to grass and you get like tie up Maria in Queens, just chopping fools, right? I feel like there's more of a premium for a quality slice on grass because people don't see it all the time anymore. So all of a sudden you get to a surface where it works and you got Siegemund just chopping Maddie Keys because she hasn't seen it. It's against her movement. And I'm probably exaggerating. I'm probably being a victim of the moment, but I do think there is something to it, right? Like you stick a slice on these courts and they're actually going through. And I'd say that there's less and less people that actually know how to use it as a weapon. Taylor Fritz gets through in 4 sets against Davidovich Fokina Serfort in the third, lost the third set breaker, and then won easy going away in the 4th set. Chucky Alcaraz in 4 sets. I gotta say, when we do our draw shows, I look at the draws, and there's always like one person when I'm looking back through it when I actually have time and I'm not on air. And Struff was one person who I completely didn't mention during the draw show, and he's really good on grass. This is like a real stress test for Alcaraz. Everything he does, you've heard me say this, but he's one of the people that everything he does, it gets a little bit better on grass. Chuckster beating him in 4 sets where he's breaking a lot. It's a good result.
Yeah, we were at that match, and at the end of the match, you know, they asked Alcaraz how he came up with the 4th set, you know, and he's like, ultimately he dumped that volley into the net. You know, he's like, that's how I won. And watching it, it's interesting to hear you say about the chips, right? Because I don't think Alcaraz's chips were working as well for the first couple sets, and then they started really, we were center court, and they were just checking straight up in the air and then like falling down. And it was just, he started to put the pressure on him. But when Struff left the court at the end, the crowd let him know how much they appreciated his effort. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
a lot.
And there's different types of chips, right? The Fed chip sticks through the court, like a Steffi Graf is like a hard chip. The floaty chip where you're buying time isn't as effective on grass, but you know, Alcaraz is like spoiled for choice. He's, you know, the one in this generation that can do absolutely everything. His only issue is like how to beat you. He can beat you 4 different ways. And it's like, what's the most effective version of myself for this match? And he's only going to get better about sourcing that, right? It's like dummies like me. It's like, okay, I can play one way to beat this person. So it's pretty simple, right? Whereas like he actually has the tools to where it's like that decision-making process, I envy it, but also probably not the easiest thing. But I don't think him being tested in the first week is bad at all. You know, I think off of Roland Garros, off of Queens, he's kind of on this roll. I don't mind that stress test very much. I think the match of the day, especially here in England, Sabalenka Raducanu, I thought Emma played well. I think she played well this tournament. Obviously, the match against Vondrousova, I did not see it going that handily towards Raducanu. And if I had one request leaving this tournament, please stay with Mark Petchey. It's working. It's working. You've looked better and better each time. Petch is a really good coach. You seem to have a great camaraderie. That's like, don't flip and fire someone and start over again and like do the whole thing. Like, keep this continuity. I thought she played really well. It's really fun to watch her play because she's never going to have hit the biggest shot on the court, but she's great at switching directions. Her shot tolerance is fantastic. Her ability to mix up spins, kind of play like almost like a slow roller and hold it to the last minute. Really interesting. And, Sabalenka is Sabalenka, right? She's just beats the shit out of the ball and ultimately beats the shit out of you. Kim Nori looked great. He might be one of the best top 5-6 movers in the tournament on grass. He never is like off step. The little steps, he gets how to move and play the ins and outs of grass, right? He doesn't have the biggest shot off the forehand side. He has to work at flattening it out. So there are people who can beat him for pace. His flight path on his backhand is made for grass. He has this little shover thing that like stays low, gets him out of trouble. This Cartal, she's cool, man. She got like the full button up Adidas thing, like Adidas doing some work. It's pretty cool. She's awesome. Elise Mertens, JW, went ahead of me there, picked her over against Svitolina. Did not have that one. Osaka, it's interesting. I think she went from someone who didn't like facing the press and didn't really say much to someone who might not give any fucks and tells you exactly what she feels all the time. Like after Paris, she just went, she's like, I feel terrible. I let me down. And today she's like, I feel nothing. In Paris, I felt everything. And here I lost and I felt nothing.
Wow.
And she's like, well, can you take some positive? She's like, I won't say anything positive about myself for the rest of the day. Thanks. Like it's like she just doesn't. And I won't say I enjoy it. The clarity is something that I think everyone should feel comfortable in. Like you ask a question, you should want an honest answer. I know it doesn't always work that way. We ask for something and then we like bitch about the person who gives us the information. Pavlyuchenkova's great. I mean, she final French Open. Ben Shelton, that was a great decision, making him come out for about 12 seconds today. Wasn't it? Making him play.
I mean, they made so much sense to cancel the match a full hour and 15 minutes before the curfew.
No, well, the curfew is late. You wouldn't be able to see it. So, like, I don't mind suspending matches, but like when both guys are begging you to stop it at 4-2, and then you don't, then stopping it at 5-4 with 4, 5, 6 points left, with a guy who hasn't been broken all day, like that has to factor in.
Can I ask you about that?
And then not talking to it on the switchover, someone getting up from the switchover, and then them saying play suspended. Can you give us like normies as chuckers insight into what you have to do to get ready for that? Yeah. Okay. So people are like,
because that could go another 2 sets, right? So mentally, what are you doing then in the morning?
Yeah. You feel like you want to vomit when you wake up again. Like it's that whole, you don't get a day off of nerves, right? So there's a couple things. There's one, you have to go, you're in a rush. It's if you're at 9:30 and then you're going to be probably second on is normally what happens. They don't continue matches first on. It's normally the second match on. I don't know what it was today, but that's normally you're not going to get thrown on first.
It was second match. It was second match.
So it's normally second match on for a continuation. So, but that could be after noon if you're on the outside court. So I don't know. Something happens, like someone twists an ankle. That's all the shit you have to account for, right? Like you have to be ready for like a weird scenario that's going to happen 3 times in your career. So Ben Shelton has to be ready to play 12:15, 12:30. In case something happens, someone like Tommy Haas one time had to pull out of this tournament because during warmups a ball rolled under his ankle and he rolled it. So once you're past the first round, there's no lucky loser. So he has to go through full prep work the night before, hydration, food, because even though he's 99% sure he's going to serve it out, you still have to prepare, to your point, Mike, that you could play for 2 hours and then you're on the next day, right? So he probably warms up for 30, 45 minutes, gets ready to play his match. Obviously everyone's making a big deal. It took 70 seconds. Yes, but it takes the preparation plus 70 seconds. right? It's like getting ready, and then afterwards, and then maybe you wanted to work on maybe for his next match, he wants to work on a couple things. And this is a complete hypothetical, right? Not necessarily to this tournament. Do you go out and work on that for 45 minutes since you've already started and stopped twice during the day, right? Your body's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down. Do you do it again? So these are all the things that kind of get thrown in the mix because they cancel that last game. Not to mention he had the momentum, and like that's before we get to all the selfish reasons for why we want to continue. One time I wanted off the court. I was playing a second round in 2005, won the first 2 sets, lost the next 2, and kind of just walked off. And then I won in the 5th set.
Like, oh, it's a little dark outside. See you guys.
It was like the umpire was suspended.
Andy?
Yeah, and at that point, the momentum was not on my side. This guy was out of his zone. Fucsovics beats Monfils. Anisimova still rolling. She was one of the few picks that got through against Noskova. I picked one little round of 16 section correctly, along with the rest of Earth, whose brackets have been blown up. Quietly, Rublev marching on, Khachanov winning a tough 5-setter. And then I get his text from Mike today, and he was on. He doesn't bother with the outside courts. He only goes center. He only goes center court. So he was watching today. Yeah, he was watching Fritz and Alcaraz. And Mike, you said that you could hear like craziness from the Jarry Fonseca match from center court.
Yeah, like literally, like they're serving normal, and you just hear like off in the distance, like ole ole ole, and I got like court envy. I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun over there.
Yeah,
and you're like, look, and the cool thing about Wimbledon is there's not like TVs all over the place. There's not replays, and they're not like, so you're kind of pulling up your like app like in your lap, like trying not to be, and you're like, oh my god, like what's happening over there? Shh, what's going on? What's happening? This is so exciting. It was cool awesome. Though. It sounded like the Beatles.
Oh, really? Is that the same? It's the Beatles, right? He's like the Beatles, right?
He's like the Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles played on court 16 a lot, right?
Yeah, get that man a crosswalk in London.
Yeah, that was funny. We're making a reference to our friend Sam Querrey, who I texted and was giving shit to. Love Sam, like best guy ever. If you have a problem with Sam, it's if you have an issue with Sam, it's your issue. I promise you. No one has an issue with Sam. But he was like, Roland Garros, he's hyping out. He's going, Fonseca, it's like the Beatles coming. I'm like, really? I mean, I know he's great. I know it's going to be there. I don't know.
It sounded like it. Like it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. I gotta think. This could be crazy. I gotta think the Beatles, at some point in their careers, had heard 2,000 people cheering for them all at the same time. I might be nuts.
Maybe.
I might be nuts.
We'll have to check the records.
Mike, give me a couple takeaways from your visit to Wimbledon.
Overall, I can see why they want to expand, because it was a little crowded, but it's like you don't want to limit people's ability to see this. But I think it's this like world-class massive event inside of this tiny little community that embraces it. I don't know. It was awesome. You didn't feel like you were walking around amongst these like massive stadiums. It just felt like you were just walking through like a little village that just had really great tennis being played all around.
That just defines our sport.
It was pretty awesome.
This little village that just makes dreams and ruins them. Okay, thanks for watching Quick Service. This is Mercury.
Support for the show comes from Mercury, the banking product that does it all. No, seriously. No more navigating a patchwork of apps and services to keep your business finances in check. Now you can do it all: invoices, bill pay, reimbursements, financial management, and more from one easy, streamlined product. How do I know? I've tried out Mercury myself. Visit Mercury.com to join over 200,000 entrepreneurs who use Mercury to do more for their businesses. Mercury, banking that does more. Mercury is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided through Choice Financial Group, Column NA, and Evolve Bank and Trust, members FDIC.